Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful top piece. Okay, so first my pattern paper is going to be on fold. Okay, just the way it is because of the style, it's going to be on fold. And now I'm measuring to check if the folding will contain the widest part of the measurement. Okay, so after folding it into two, I will now go on and draft the basic bodies, the bust point, which is 11 inches, 11 inches for the bust point, then the waistline. So I'm not using the under bust for this because it's that less, honestly. Then from the waistline, I'm going to measure how many inches I want to add to make up the whole length, or you can just measure the length from the shoulder. So I think I added about 5.5 inches, okay, altogether from the waistline. So it depends on what your measurement is. Please measure to be sure the actual length of the top. Okay, then I'm just going to work on the neckline, the shoulder slope, come down by 1 inch. Okay, the neck width is 3 inches. We don't really need all of that, but we need it in order to get our measurements right. Then the armhole. Okay, so if you need a tutorial on the basic bodies, I have a tutorial on that on the channel, so please check it out. Okay, so the distance from the armhole to the bust point, I just cross check it in order to create the chest line. And this one I'm drawing here is the chest line. Okay, then I'll work on the armhole curve. So if you like, you can work on that too, or you just leave it. But I'm just doing the basic stuff first. Okay, so now I'm creating the armhole curve. Okay, now the next thing is to fix in the bust round divided by 4. Is 36 divided by 4 is 9. Then I added 2 inches for seam allowance. If you like, you can add 1 inch or 1.5. Then on the waistline, I'm adding the waist round 2 divided by 4 plus seam allowance. Okay, so whatever I have on the waistline, that's what I'm taking down to the M line. Okay, so for the M line, remember I said make sure you cross check your own measurement to know where you want it to be or the client wants it to stop. Okay, so now I'm tracing this out like from the chest line to the waistline. Okay, we are still going to open up the paper, so I'm tracing some parts out so that it can reflect easily on the other side. So now I've cut out the basic, you can see. So now this part I'm folding the chest line, and also the waistline. So I only want the distance between the chest line and the waistline, and that is what we'll be using for the back. You can see, so this is just the pattern for the back. So if you like, you can just go ahead and cut it out on the fabric like this first, or you just place it on another pattern paper, just transfer it to another pattern paper. So you can see, then make sure you label the up, the down, and the center back. It's important. So now after we've done that, we've transferred that, so put it one side. That means the back is settled. Okay, so now the part that I use my tracing wheel to trace, so I've transferred the lines. So bear in mind that this is the right side of the fabric you are working on directly. So from the shoulder, I came down by 3 inches. If you like, you can come in by 2.5 or 2 inches. Then at that 3 inches, I came in by ½ inch. Then I'll connect it to the armhole of the other side. Okay, I hope we understand that part. So this is how it's going to be. I'm connecting it down from the ½ inch that I came in with. First come down by 3 inches, then come in by ½ inch. Okay, and we've connected it. So on the hem line now, so from the center front, you can see that demarcation there. So from the center front, I mark my dart area, my dart placement. So from the dart placement now to where I mark before the seam allowance, or from the dart placement, just mark about 2 inches or 2.5 inches after your dart placement. So I just mark 2.5 inches after the dart and connect it up. Okay, I mean, where I'm assuming I'm to put that where your dart location is going to be, so just measure about 2 inches or 2.5 inches away from your dart placement and connect it just the way I did here. So now on the other side, from the waistline, you will now connect it slantly. Please just pay attention to the video. I think it's self-explanatory also. Okay, then also remember to decide which part you want the highest point to be when working on such style like this. And these parts I'm marking are parts that I'm going to cut out. Okay, so you can see I've labeled my right side and the left side, and remember I said this is how I'm going to place it on the fabric, on the right side of the fabric. So you need to put those things in mind. So this is the pattern, this is the front, and that is the back. So now this is the fabric I'll be working on. I know it's crepe, but it's a very light type of crepe. Okay, so I only know it's a very light type of crepe. It's not a thick one. So now I've located the side part, the right side of the fabric. So I'm placing the paper directly onto it. Then I'll secure by pin. Then I'm cutting it out. You can see I'm adding 1/2 inch for joining allowance. The parts that already have seam allowance, I did not add any joining allowance. So this is it. If you like wide drafting, you might not even add seam allowance, okay? But just make sure your measurements are right. So the part for the back is going to be on fold. You can see the front was not on fold. I open it up, but for the back is going to be, the fabric is going to be on fold because the paper was not on fold when we cut. And remember for the back, okay, for the back we're going to be cutting 2 pieces. For the back we'll cut it twice. The main fabric will cut twice, and even the lining will cut twice. Okay, so our fabric is ready. So this is it. I cut out the lining, and you can see on the longest part I created bony channels because of the softness of the fabric, so I need to add structure to it. Okay, so, and I also added interfacing over onto the fabric, or stay. Use any stay of your choice, the anyone you know you are comfortable with, just to make the fabric more stable. So I think I use ST. You can use ST or gum stay, anyone you are comfortable with. But you can see the longest part, the one that run through the chest, and also from the longest part of the side. So created the bony channel, and I'm inserting the bone on those side. Okay, so now I'm going to attach the lining to the fabric. So you can see one part is somehow, I'll trim it out when I'm done. So this is it. This is what it looks like, because using the fabric alone without those bones will not give it that structure. And this is the back. You know, I said we have 2 pieces for the back. So I've attached the lining and also interfacing. I've joined it and sealed it up. You can see the edges are sealed up. So let's watch the way we're going to attach this. Even this other side of the front, we have to, I'll still seal it up when I'm done. So now you can see I've placed one back and the front, right side to right side. Then this other second one for the back, it's be on top. That's how it's going to be placed. Then I'm going to stitch on the seam allowance, you can see, and the other side will now be for the zipper. You stitch one side completely and attach the zipper allowance to the other side, okay, and that's all. So this is what the final result looks like. It's actually beautiful when worn by person. So the zip is actually by the side, not at the back. Okay, and for the cloth peg, pardon me, the mannequin is not the size of the dress, it's smaller for the dress. Okay, so that's why I need to use the cloth peg to make it firm, at least so that you can see the front part very well. Okay, so you can see it's neatly fixed. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.